into Iraq through Jordan even after Saddam invaded Kuwait. At the Foreign Office, Minister Douglas Hogg defended British arms sales and offered no crumb of comfort to the Marsh Arabs. But doesn't the unsavoury story of arms sales to a tyrant like Saddam only prove one thing? That the human rights of people like the Marsh Arabs will always come second to big business.
There are a number of important reasons why you do supply arms. To start off with, friendly governments have a right to acquire arms so as to defend themselves against a whole variety of threats, whether it be internal or external. Then there are perfectly legitimate commercial interests to take into account. And don't forget, we then get into the whole range, so I'm not going to for these purposes, because it's a wholly different subject, into dual-use machine tools, all that area. Then there is the fact that we have strategic interests in forging alliances with countries, and those strategic alliances are underpinned by a willingness to supply arms, and indeed on occasions to reinforce those countries with military assets of various kinds. So these are all interests which we take into account, and I don't deny that sometimes the weapons that one provides can be used to infringe human rights.
So is there anything that the outside world can do now? Or do you think that in the case of the Marsh Arabs, who are probably several 100,000 people, and a culture going back thousands of years, and a unique natural habitat, are we really seeing the end of that, do you think?
I don't think I would say that. What is unquestionably true is that Saddam Hussein is mounting a double-pronged attack on the Marsh Arabs, partly by the process of draining, which destroys the environment and of course exposes them to military action from the ground, and also by ground action itself. But the process will probably take some time. The combination of the drying out of the marshes and the military action will not be immediately successful. Now, it is at least possible that within the time frame of which we are talking, Saddam may fall, and therefore the wholly gloomy scenario that you've just sketched may not occur. But if the question is a slightly different one, namely, can we stop what is going on in South Iraq by external action, I think the answer is no.
There's one last gem. You can still get into the marshes through southwestern Iran. This is Huwaiza Marsh, on the border with Iraq. It's 50-degree heat. It's stifling humidity. This is as far as you can go now. It's on the very edge of Saddam's killing field. From here you can see the Iraqis building the latest dikes in their campaign to destroy the marshes. Out there, towards Majnoon oil field, where the French oil companies Elf and Total have already negotiated with Saddam for the time after sanctions, after the draining. In August 1993, 5,000 Marsh Arabs had escaped here through Huwaiza. Thousands more are trapped in the lakes just over the border, poised in limbo between their lost Eden and exile in a foreign land.
ولادها كده مقابرهم ببيوتنا وعوائلنا دفناها ابو بشذر وبالضيم حالنا وهجرنا ماكو مجعت ماي لشرب والدول تشوفنا وما قامت بحقنا. شو نسوي بعد؟ شوف الماي كضوا علينا هم الماي هسه الدول ما تدري بيه كضوا علينا.
احنا بهذا هالشكل الشعب انتهى الشعب، لانه احنا عبرنا جزء من عده انتهى الشعب تدمر. بس اذا امريكا تقول وتقول عدة لجنة حقوق الانسان تسوي لنا حل. وهي بس ما تقدق ويجون يصورون علينا وصور ونطلع قدام المصور وشاشة التلفزيون طالعين افلام مضحكة. احنا الهم احنا ما معقول ولا انسان يعرف.
ويقولون امريكا وبريطانيا قبل يقولوا لا واحد صدام وبريطانيا وامريكا لا واحد انقتل الاخر يقولوا مجرم. انا اقول قتل صدام، ليش ما يسوون صدام مجرم؟
In this film we've tried to show that there's overwhelming evidence that the regime of Saddam Hussein has committed genocide against the Marsh Arabs in the marshes of southern Iraq, and cultural genocide against the Shia as a whole right across the south of Iraq. We've got the government's own testimony in their own words for their intention to commit systematic repression, murder and environmental destruction. And every eyewitness we've spoken to has confirmed that that is indeed what they have done. The Shia themselves have been denied their human rights and denied even the basic right to worship freely, to teach their faith, to perform their rituals, rights which are regarded as inalienable freedoms in the UN Charter. And in the next few months, it's likely that tens of thousands more of Shia marsh Arabs will be killed in the border region just over that levee road on the horizon, without protest from the rest of the world. But it's still not too late. 2 years ago, the world saw what happened to the Kurds and helped them. They could still help the Shia. There is a UN resolution in place intended to protect all the people of Iraq. The UN could enforce human rights monitoring right across the south. But best of all, they could create a safe haven in the south, just as they did in the north. Then the dikes could be destroyed, and the marsh Arabs could go home.
الطير مات، الحلال مات، البشر مات، الدنيا مات، ماكو مال، ماكو عيش، احنا عراي بالضيم حان.
ضيعنا